Hi guys, it's Greg, and in this video we're going to learn how to make your WordPress website with the free drag and drop Elementor page builder plugin. Alright, let's check it out. So here's the website you're going to learn how to make today in this tutorial, and as you can see, it turned out incredibly. And I just want to give you a quick tour of the website features now so that we can be sure that it's right for you. There are so many cool new features here, guys. We're going to learn how to set up this video background at the very top, and this could be any video you create or just a huge image. And then scrolling down, we're going to learn how to create featured sections for your products, like this one with the computer. We're going to insert large full screen quotes and even more sections to show off your business, your ideas, your products, like this really cool grid. So we have a slider in it, or a gallery, some people like calling it. I just call it a slider, I don't know. And then we have a featured video. And then at the bottom, another video background, which is really awesome because it looks like you just open your laptop in the park here, and the park's just doing its park thing in the background. Super cool. We're gonna learn how to create a custom footer because footers are always annoying us and we can't get rid of what they say. And when we get rid of it, the footer disappears. So we're just gonna create our own amazing footers with, of course, social icons and menus and whatever you want to say. If we click on this helpful arrow, we can go back to the top, and I really do believe you're going to capture your passions with this website because we've set up more features that more of you guys can enjoy than ever before. So let's check out the About page, and we can see you're going to learn how to set up a huge hero image. You can put text on top of it or videos or buttons, and you can easily move this wherever you want. In the old days, you'd have to just put things where the theme wanted them to go, but now they can go anywhere. That's my dad, by the way. He's a really cool guy. And then when we scroll down, you can see we get this interactive feature like the moving progress bars, the counters, the list, the icons. We're going to keep it simple with a little 3-image section. And then, of course, we got to add Instagram because Insta is huge these days. And then we're going to get the quotes, again, our footer. And so this website truly has something for everyone. Let's check out the services page where we're just going to set a nice relaxing vibe with huge beautiful background images you can download for free. I'm going to show you how to alternate where the text goes with the headers and this nice little divider line so you can represent the different seasons or different parts of the world. And of course replace this with what you do, like marketing or hotel management or fitness or restaurants, whatever it is. This is going to be absolutely beautiful for you and your customers. This guy's my favorite, by the way. I'm totally going to try to find him someday. And so going up, we can click on our work, and our work just has more cool features, stuff you might not have even thought you could create, but now we can because Elementor is just that good. So this page is all about reviews so that people have no doubts that our work is the best. We have some quotes, and then this is like an actual exchange between me and a really awesome user. And then another section, so we're going to learn how to create website features that you see on other websites. Like, for example, I bet you can guess where this one was created from. And then just more stuff. You get the icons of a theme like Vantage and all the easy stuff we've used on WordPress before. That includes a contact page. You'll learn how to set up this full screen map that could show off your business location, more icons, and a cool contact form over here, which of course works. If someone fills it in, then it'll just go right to you and you can go ahead and respond to business inquiries super easily. So when someone clicks send, I'll show you how it works. WordPress just thinks for a second and then it sends the message, and it's just going to go right to the email that we set up. So there's me sent from the Elementor website, and perfect. There's the message, and super simple, and it works, and you can build your customer interactions with that. Close that, and then we're back on the site. And finally, your website will include a blog where you can write about all your ideas and your different thoughts. Either way, really nice to have this marketing tool, and we're going to learn how to set up this Facebook like box so people can like your site. You can build your fans right here. They don't even have to leave your site. So really cool. This site also has e-commerce capability. You can easily add a shopping cart here, and in a future tutorial in about a month, we're going to learn how to convert it all into an online store. So if you want to set up the website now and learn about WordPress and design and how to create a website and then add the store later, that certainly works. We can click on the logo and go back to the main page. Now you might be wondering why. We have more WordPress tutorials on our channel than I can even try to count. And we've covered so many different themes and designs. And the reason is because of the themes. So this demo site we made uses the Sydney theme. And of course it turned out really professional, but we're limited by where the theme wants things to go. For example, the button has to go here, the text goes here, But in Elementor, you can move anything. You can click on a button and go ahead and move it. You can easily just drag it, so wherever you want things to go, they'll go there. Let's say you want to change where this text goes. Just click on the column settings, advanced, delete this up here, boom, done. And we just moved some text. Or maybe you saw a really neat part of another website that you want to use, like here on our Laurel website demo. We want to create these 3 floating featured boxes with the button on top of them. Well, boom, we just did it. And because we did it in Elementor, we can change everything from the size of the text, the font, to the width of the boxes, to even the amount of shadow around the boxes. It's super easy. You don't need to know anything about code, and you can do this on a Mac, PC, or whatever type of computer you have. Or maybe you're spending your time hanging out on some other website, like this random computer store, and you're like, whoa, man, these features are cool. I want to learn how to make that one right there. We just did it again. All using Elementor, and more importantly, with your own text, your own ideas, your own images, all with professional tools that any of us can figure out. So I hope to show you that the websites you browse on a daily basis aren't that complicated, and with the right tools in this tutorial, you can actually create almost anything you see on the web and make it all happen on your own website. That does it for our tour. If you'd like to learn how to make a WordPress website with Elementor and basically make any website you can dream of where you capture your passions and share them with the world, then I'd be honored to be your teacher. Now, let's go ahead and look at the steps needed to make this website, and more importantly, what each of them costs. Alright, so I'm just going to open up our game plan here. It's going to be really easy to make a website with this game plan, and anyone can do it, whether you have no website experience before or maybe you took some class before on computer stuff. Either way, we can all learn a new skill. It's just like learning how to make spaghetti sauce or carve a piece of wood. We can all learn it. So step 1 that we're going to do is to get a domain name. A domain name is your address on the web, and you need one in the same way that an apartment or a house needs an address for people to find you. You need a domain name so that people can type something into their internet and your blog or website will show up. Facebook's domain name is facebook.com, Netflix's domain name is netflix.com, and if you can't get the domain name you want, then try inserting a keyword after the words you like netflixmovies.com or facebookisreallycreepy.com or whatever you can think of. Or if you don't have your perfect domain name idea, just try to register your firstname.lastname.com. That's a great place to start and really good for branding. And a domain name costs about $11 per year. Once we have our domain name, we can go ahead and get our hosting. Hosting is just a computer that's online 24/7 to host all of your files, like your blog posts, your images, your logo, your image sliders, your copy of WordPress, all of that. It's sort of like when you have an apartment or a house, the hosting is just the land where that apartment or house or townhome or whatever is built on. So you visit the address to get to the hosting, and then you see what someone's built, which is going to be WordPress. So if you get the domain name but you don't have hosting, someone can visit your domain name but they'll just see the blank white screen. Or maybe they'll see some advertisements that your domain name registrar put up. So either way, if you have a domain name, it's really important to get hosting really quickly. But if you don't have either of them in this tutorial, we're going to learn how to set both of them up together. Hosting is the same as self-hosting. It's the same as getting self-hosted WordPress. They're all just different names for one thing. So again, we absolutely need hosting so that people can actually see something when they visit your website, and hosting costs about $10 per month. Domain name and hosting are the two basic things that all of us WordPress people pay for. And once you have them, you can install WordPress onto the domain name and hosting. We're going to install the WordPress.org version, which is the full version, so that we can create whatever we want. We're not limited or missing features or something like that. You'll be able to post advertisements, rank in Google, monetize everything, and make it an entire business. And WordPress, despite what you might have heard, is free once you have these number 1 and number 2 things. WordPress is the number 1 content management system on the planet, which means just it's the best way that people decide to manage their content online. And we're going to use the best drag and drop technology available today. So I think you're going to find it really fun and really eye-opening how easy it's been all along. Alright, so once we've installed WordPress onto our domain name and our hosting, we just need to do step 4, which is make a website. Of course, that's also free because you're doing it with a do-it-yourself YouTube tutorial, and I'm going to walk you through all of it. I think that's really the way to do it, because if you pay someone to design your website, A, you're out a few $1,000s, and B, you don't know how to manage it, and you have to call them up anytime you want to make the smallest change, which is extremely frustrating. Trust me, I've seen so many people go down that route. And you're going to be truly grateful that you made this decision to do it yourself, because you'll know the knowledge. You can make this website, many more websites for clients, family, friends, business partners, start your own businesses, whatever you want. And by the way, it'll be free because you know how to do the web design. The free part includes Elementor. Elementor is the centerpiece of this tutorial. They are the celebrity cameo. They are the meat and potatoes here, and we're going to use the free version of Elementor. All right, we'll just crunch the numbers here quick, because I know when I was in your shoes and I set out to make a website, I was super concerned that I was getting the best price available. So the domain name and the hosting together, if we got both of those today, would cost you $11 plus $10, which is $21. But I'm going to show you a nice discount we can use, which is pretty darn nifty. And that will reduce your cost today down to $11.46, which I think is a great deal. We're going to get that discount using my coupon, which is BigBonus. BigBonus is a coupon which is going to reduce the price of both your hosting and your domain name at the same time, and it's valid at HostGator.com, my web host of choice. They're not the only web host you could use, but they're probably the best value for something simple, easy to use that just plain works to set up WordPress. And the neat thing is, I started using them about 8 years ago, and I grew my entire business with them, quit my day job, all that, and I still power all my blogs, websites, even client websites with HostGator. HostGator is just the kind of place that every time you visit, you like a little bit more, sort of like your favorite park or lake or wildlife reserve or waterfall or wherever you go boating or play tennis or whatever. That's how I feel every time I visit HostGator. So if you have to leave the tutorial now and come back later or something like that, if you can't finish it, at least you know about this deal that you can use to save on both your hosting and your domain name. And we're gonna set both of those up at HostGator.com, which is another nice feature they offer. All right, so now that we know our game plan and we know what it's gonna cost us, which is $11.46, plus or minus a few dollars, you know, if you decide to beef up your hosting plan or your domain name or something. But it's about the cost of, I'd say, a t-shirt. And how many t-shirts do we have that we don't even need? Even if you don't have time to make the complete website, I really recommend you get these 3 steps out of the way, because then you at least have a website. You've saved yourself a ton of money as opposed to going with a web designer who would just do this for you but charge you like $500 or several $1,000s. And you have a website where you can start putting up your thoughts and writing some stuff and building your brand. So that'll be better than most people have. Ultimately, I don't want you to just have a website idea and say you'll start every day, and then the universe just pulls you back into normalcy and you get sucked back into the daily routine and never start your dream. You gotta fight the pull of the universe to go back to your average routine and be amazing instead. And this, in my opinion, is just one of the first steps to doing that. All right, so let's get started. Enough of my little rant there. Although I really do believe in that stuff. And we're gonna get started with our website just by opening up your browser. So I use Google and Google Chrome here. I find it works best. But if you're using Safari or Opera or Internet Explorer or Firefox, it will all work just the same. You'll be fine. And then come up to your browser bar and just type in HostGator. That's HostGator.com. I've been visiting the India site too because we're working with them. But we want HostGator.com and hit enter. All right, and you're gonna get taken to the new HostGator site. So really nice site here. I've been coming here for years. And all right, so the thing with hosting is there are so many options. Once you pick a web host, which is hard enough as is, there's different kinds of web hosting, like cloud hosting, WordPress hosting, reseller, VPS, dedicated servers. And you could really go any of these routes because they all have WordPress capabilities. And that's all we want. We just want to install WordPress. Now, WordPress has helped me work on a lot of different projects with different clients. And they say, oh, log into my web hosting at A4, or log into my hosting at Monster Page, or at GreenWeb, or something like that. And then and those aren't real names. I'm just masking the names because I don't want to talk bad about companies. And then when I log into the web host, then they look really confusing. And HostGator, I know there's like a few buttons to get to WordPress, and that's pretty much it. So I wonder like why these companies are so outdated or confusing. And I see the prices on some of them, and they're like hundreds of dollars a month. And in our case, we can get a deal for $275 a month for hosting. And so I just really can't stress enough that all hosts aren't created equally. That's my lesson here for you guys. HostGator, on the other hand, I know is great because I've been with them for 8 years. I can explain any of their features to you at any time, and of course you get this live chat feature, and they're just always updating their software and their services to be the industry standard for web hosting. If you hadn't heard of them before this, it's because they are pretty low key. They know they're one of the biggest web hosts, and they don't really need to go hard with advertising or convince anyone because they know they're pretty great and pretty awesome as is. So that's a little bit about why I love HostGator. Now, to proceed with installing your WordPress software, you might think you need to click WordPress hosting, but that's actually a more advanced version, which just comes with extra features you don't need, costs a little bit more. And in fact, the cheapest way to install WordPress is just by clicking on web hosting and getting one of their basic shared plans, which is definitely what I recommend right here. It's the cheapest, most basic option that gets you the full version of WordPress. So let's do it. Let's click web hosting. All right, now you'll see the 3 buckets screen, which all of us HostGator customers are very familiar with. And this is going to ask you to choose either the business plan, the baby plan, or the hatchling plan. Personally, I currently started with the hatchling plan for my domain name honestcollege.com. It was a college advice blog. Then I upgraded to the baby plan when I wanted to start Dear Blogger and run all these demo sites and power all sorts of other WordPress sites and create an empire. And that is the main difference. Hatchling plan gives you all these amazing features like one-click WordPress, unmetered bandwidth and all that. I know some web hosts charge for like bandwidth, which is crazy, or they only give you like 10 gigabytes of storage, which is also crazy. HostGator never does that. It's always unmetered, unlimited. And then the baby plan has everything Hatchling does, except for you can use unlimited domain names. You can make totally different WordPress websites with different domain names. Now that's really cool. It's cool to have a sister website or a sister blog, or to make a blog for your parents on Mother's Day or Father's Day or something like that, or make a blog for your college. And you might want to do that, but keep in mind you can always upgrade. Just click live chat, tell them, hey, upgrade my plan to baby, and they'll upgrade it for you whenever you want. So at the end of the day, it's up to you. These are both really good choices. It's like choosing a small popcorn or a medium popcorn. If you get the medium, I mean, you're not going to be unhappy. You're probably going to eat that popcorn. But yeah, up to you. In our case right now, I'm just going to go with the cheapest possible option for you guys to install WordPress so you can pay the least amount anywhere on the web, right now, here today. And that's why we're going to choose Hatchling. All right, so, but it's the same process and the same process going forward as we set up WordPress for all of these plans, exact same process. All right, so once you've made your selection, just come on and click this yellow button that says buy now. Next, it's time to either register a new domain or click I already own this domain. So if you already bought a domain name at GoDaddy or somewhere else, like you were in a hurry and you knew someone else was going to take it, or you had a really cool idea, then just enter in that domain name right here, and HostGator will set up your hosting and link it to this domain name, and you'll be able to install WordPress and it'll all work perfectly. If instead you need a new domain name, then you're going to get a discount on it, which is cool. Just click register a new domain name, and you can go ahead and start a WordPress website with your new domain name. So that's pretty simple. That's all you need for step 1. There's one more step, which is to choose the extension. So in our case, I always like getting the .com if we can. It's a really good idea. If you can't get the .com, go ahead and enter in a little more descriptive wording there, and you'll probably be able to grab it. So that's cool. And then if you want to get one of the other ones, like .online or something, there's nothing wrong. It's kind of cool to have that sometimes, like .online, .space. Maybe you can register like outer .space. You might be wondering, of course, whether or not these different extensions will affect your ranking in Google, and the answer is no. You can rank in Google with all these. It's all about what content you create and how many other websites mention you to determine how well you rank in Google, among a few other important things. However, the .com is most recognizable if you're out at a business party or an event and you say my website is WordPress World or something like that. They're usually going to assume it's the .com, and they'll go ahead and look up the .com. Just a little bit more recognizable and therefore brandable. However, I've had a lot of success with the .org. The .net is great too. And also the .com will sell for the most money if you want to sell your domain name someday. So just keep all that in mind. Obviously here to help you pick the best domain name in the comments. So once you're set on that, just make sure you only have one domain name registered today. They're going to ask you to get the other domain names, but I don't think that's necessary. You might think that someone will register like all your other .org and your .net of your domain name, but that just doesn't happen usually. So keep those costs down. Just get one domain name for today is what I recommend. Then once you're done with that, you're going to come down and see that there's an add domain name privacy protection. In a similar light, I like unchecking that. This part just makes it so like when you register a domain name, people can't see your public information like your email and your name and your address and stuff like that. I don't really mind that. I trust people not to misuse it, and I figure there's always like yellow pages if someone really wanted to do that. But it's up to you. That just will also decrease your costs even more, which is good if we uncheck that. All right, with our domain name entered, we're just gonna come on down and choose our hosting plan in step 2. So we're gonna select the plan we want. All right, Hatchling is definitely a great move, but Baby's pretty good too. Billing cycle, you can choose any amount you want really, and I'm gonna show you a discount coupon that gets you a discount on this 1 month and this 3 month and 6 month and all the other ones. So it's really up to you. As you can probably tell, the longer term period, or in other words, the more months you register up front, the lower your cost will be per month. So it's whatever your budget allows for. If you know you're gonna use WordPress for like 3 or 5 years like I did, then 36 months is a pretty good guess, or even 12 months. I like that sweet spot because then you can really get a feel for blogging, learn how to make money. It took me about 11 months to generate my first $50 or so with blogging, and if I didn't give it that time, I never would have gotten the money or known what it's like to make a living online. So lesson learned for me at least. But in our case today, I think I want to just choose 1 month so that we pay the least amount up front. I don't know. I don't have a ton saved up right now, and I really just want to show you guys how to make this really cool website quickly. So we're going to pay the least amount today. Next, just pop in a username, so whatever you want to do there, and then security pin just has to be 4 digits. Super easy, and scroll down. And now for enter billing info, we just need to make our payment here. We're going to use credit card. We need to enter in our billing info like you would at Amazon, Netflix, wherever you shop online. Super easy. Next, just scroll down to additional services, and these are also things you can add on later on, like moving from Hatchling to Baby Plan or adding that domain privacy protection. And so we're just gonna remove them. And plus, like, I don't even know really what these things do, like site lock or professional email, which by the way, I can show you how to make an email on your own without this or backup. I don't know what they do. I'm one of those people who always like wants to know like what something does if I pay for it. And so I'd rather just like save that money to go on a cool vacation and blog about it instead. But up to you. So then we're gonna come down to step 5 and step 6 where you can review your order details. All right, but before you go ahead and pay whatever this amount is down here, which will vary based on like how long you get hosting for and if you get a domain name or not, just navigate over to where it says coupon code and delete whatever it says in there. And we're gonna write in a better coupon code, which is BigBonus, just like that. All right, so I like doing the capital B and the capital B, but I think it's not case sensitive, so it'll work however you write it. And then click validate. All right, it should work. Okay, great, so it worked. That gets our discount down to that $11.46, which is really cool. It's really fun. Love seeing our costs go down, like when I'm at the supermarket or at the drugstore. I love seeing those numbers go down. And so yeah, we get our domain name here down from its original price to $5.99. Really cool. Hatchling for 1 month, which is down from $10.95 to $5.47. Really cool. And then our grand total, which is just $11.46. All right, you don't really have to look at the black and the green numbers here if you don't want to. Those kind of confuse me, but it's just this number plus this number equals this number. All right, and that is my coupon we created at Dear Blogger specifically for you guys. So if you use it, I'll get a little bit of credit from HostGator for referring you to their services. So that's just really awesome. It helps me keep making these videos and keeping everything free online. That's why I make like all sorts of free tutorials on how to do anything in WordPress because, you know, hopefully like at least one of you guys per day will use my coupon and I'll get a little bit of credit from HostGator, and that keeps me going. All right, so again, I really appreciate it, and I'm definitely here to help. So we can review our order details one more time. We get the 24/7, 365 phone, live chat, email support free, account activation free, money back guarantee, 45 days. We get our domain, blah, 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 hatching plan, really cool. And our amount due is $11.46, which could fluctuate if you get a longer or, you know, different sort of hosting plan. That's totally fine. We're all ready to go ahead and sign up for web hosting. All you have to do now is just check this box, and we can just come on down and click checkout now, and we'll be all set. We can proceed and install your copy of WordPress. And of course, I'll show you how to do it. So let's do it. Alright, so your HostGator customer portal is where all the fun takes place, but not in the My Account tab, actually in the Hosting tab is where the fun takes place. So here you can see everything you got with HostGator. You got emails, databases, add-on domains. This is where you add like just other domain names. If you get the baby plan, you can add like secondwebsite.com, thirdwebsite.com, and so on and so forth, and then install WordPress on those. And you got your file manager. This is like a FileZilla sort of feature, but even better. HostGator site builder, Lego icon, quick install, which we're going to use for WordPress, and so on and so forth. So really cool, more tools up here. I'm happy to help you with any of it, just ask. But the first order of business now is just to install WordPress onto your domain name and your hosting. Then make sure your domain name and hosting are happily connected. And then we can go on and make the website. So in order to do that, we're just going to scroll down and we're going to click Launch Quick Install right here. Alright, and when you're in Quick Install, you can see there's other one-click installs like Magento and Joomla and Drupal, but we just want to click on WordPress. Now we just need to select your domain from this drop-down list. So I'm like super cool, I have all these domain names, but we just want your domain name, and should be maybe a little bit easier for you to find if you just have one or two or something. So select it, leave the directory box blank right here, don't write anything right here, and just click next. And we're not gonna let a pro do it for us, we're not gonna fall for that. But you can see how much money some people do spend just to get WordPress working. It's crazy. So let's click next. Alright, now you just need to enter in a blog title, which you can change later on. So I'll just call mine Elementor. Next, for admin user, I like just going with first name. This will be your WordPress username, so it'll say like new blog post by blank. So don't make this one too silly. And then, you know, you can change the other stuff like first name, last name later on. Just make sure you get your email in right, because WordPress is going to email you your login details after we click install. Very good, good job, we're almost there. So now you just need to click this box right here, and we can go ahead and click install, and HostGator is going to do all the techie stuff and all the code and install WordPress for us. So just like I told you, it's just a one-click install that you might have heard about, and now we actually get to use it. So let's do it. Alright, WordPress is installing, and in the meanwhile it's going to show us a picture of Snappy right here. Alright, and it's going to say get a theme, but we have our own theme. We have a really good one picked out. And so great, it was complete. Let me know if you get any errors here, but you definitely want this green check mark. Good job, congratulations. If that was your first installation of WordPress. Now the best thing to do is not to click login or this button or anything. It's actually just to copy your installation details and put them in a Word doc or a notepad. Because sometimes people can lose the screen and they get all worried, and it's not a big deal, but just want to make sure you have them. So I'm going to open up our handy little game plan here and just paste those in so we always have them. And we can change that password later on. Alright, very good. So now, like I said, we just need to do that one step to connect our domain name to our hosting. It might already be connected, but we want to double check that it's working so that you can see your site when you look at your domain name. So in order to do that, you need to go back to your HostGator billing portal, and if you got your domain name along with your hosting from HostGator, you can click on domains up here, and then you're going to see your domain or your domains right here. And so for example, I could click on Naragai, you click on the gear, and then it will tell you your Nameservers, which are the tools used to connect the domain and the hosting. What you want to do is make sure that these are the right Nameservers. So how do you know the right Nameservers? Well, HostGator will email you something called your account info. It's an email that'll look like this from sales@hostgator.com. Your email might look a little bit different, but the most important thing here is going to be first name server and second name server. So these will be your name servers, and they will almost definitely be different from NS119 and NS120. Unless you got that cozy little space in the server like right next to my website, which could happen, but they'll probably be different. So whatever they are, you want to make sure that you have them written in your billing portal right here. Nameserver 1 goes up here, and Nameserver 2 goes here, right beneath it. You just click change, write them in, Make sure to get the NS and the dot and then the other .com and then just save it. All right, and then it's gonna say, cool, you did it, and you're gonna have your domain name connected to your hosting. So that's kind of redundant if you got your domain name from HostGator. They might already be perfect. I just like to show you where this is. Now, if you got your domain name somewhere like GoDaddy, you definitely have to do this name server step, and that'll just look like what I'll show you right now. So I don't want to lose anyone. I know a lot of WordPress tutorials just skip this and make you figure it out, but I have been down this route and it's very confusing and I wish someone would show me how to do it. So if you got your domain name at GoDaddy or somewhere else, you just have to find your domain name at GoDaddy. So let's say we use CanCats. Again, I don't know what I was thinking here. I have all these domain names, but you're just going to click DNS and then it'll say Nameservers. And you want to click change. And then it'll say default, you want to make it custom, and then you're going to write in again the first one with all the periods and all the spaces and stuff. Actually, no spaces, just ns blah blah blah.hostgator.com, and then save it. Perfect. After which you'll have to wait a little bit of time for your domain to connect to your hosting. Hopefully not too long if you're in a busy city, but what might happen is you might start visiting your website and you might be like, I just saw my site, and the next time you visit it, you're like, I didn't see it. This is the right window to see, but if you don't see this window, then don't worry. It just means that the web is updating so that it knows where your site is. Now is usually when in all our tutorials we take a break and go get some fresh air, stretch the legs out a little bit. So I'm gonna do that. Might still be able to catch the fish taco joint down the street, we'll see. But either way, it's a really good time to take about a half an hour break. So let's do that. And then let's come back and we are gonna put the /wp-admin after your .com, and hopefully we're gonna pray that we see your WordPress login screen and we can go ahead and make a WordPress website. All right, we're back and ready to make a WordPress website for you. By the way, the taco stand was not open because it's well past midnight now. But if you know of one, then I'm all ears. So we have our WordPress details emailed to you. It's going to say HostGator Marketplace install complete, and then it's just going to have what you need to log in. And this is exactly the same as what we wrote down on our notes. So we're just going to copy the password, type in our username, paste that in, click remember me to save us time in the future, and I also like just bookmarking this page for future reference. If you ever don't know how to log in, it's always just yourwebsite.com. My website in this case is startawordpresswebsite.com. Very boring, I know. Followed by /wp-admin. And when you click enter, that just takes you to the login screen. So you never want to actually type in like all this stuff because that's way too much. Just type in /wp-admin and you're good to go. All right, let's log in. All right, very cool. Welcome to WordPress. So they've just updated some stuff here. We're going to dismiss the notifications, and I basically just like closing anything that pops up like immediately. So dismiss that. Very cool. If you have a screen right here that says, do you need help? Are you making a personal website or a business website? Just click the link for I don't need help because we're going to do it ourselves, and I truly believe that's the best way to do it. You'll learn a lot more and value your website a lot more when you learn it. All right, next thing we want to do is it says your site is displaying a coming soon page. We're going to click here to remove that because the coming soon page totally doesn't match our site or our branding. It's like green fonts and all sorts of weird links. So get rid of that by saying click here. And now we are going to change our password. So to change your password, just click on users and we're going to find you right here. Click on your name and then scroll down and click generate password and then just type in, a new password right there and confirm it and update it. Good job. All right, this page also has your profile image. You can upload a cool picture of yourself when you looked younger, I guess. And then you can also do the color of your dashboard if you want. I like default personally. All right, very cool. That's your user profile. Next, I'm just going to scroll up and click dashboard. So this is where it'll show you, and it'll take you right when you log into WordPress. You always go to your dashboard. That's just what they call the back end of your website, where you make all the changes. If you want to see how your website or blog looks to the entire world, just click in the upper left where it says your site name and it says this home icon, and it's going to take you to the front end. So we have the WordPress 2017 theme here, and we've seen it before, and we're gonna get rid of it. But just that's how it works. So if you're editing, you're on the dashboard side, so you can click on the upper left or you can click dashboard and they go to the same place. And then if you're viewing all your changes, you click there. It just goes from one place to the other. You can go back and forth and back and forth, or you can open your site in a new window and keep one of them on the front and one of them on the back, which I like doing. All right, so before we start building, I want to just do a couple more housekeeping things to make sure we all have the exact same WordPress website and we're all on the same page, literally. All right, so what we want to do is go to plugins. So click plugins. Plugins are things that WordPress comes with. They're things that the good developers out there build for WordPress. The WordPress team makes them and they extend the functionality of WordPress. So by default, WordPress doesn't know that you want like cool social media icons. They don't know you want to rank in Google. They don't know that you want to add image galleries and sliders and stuff, but there is a plugin for that. There's a plugin for everything. And a lot of plugins are also kind of pointless. We don't want them. And they take up space in your site and make it slow. So we're going to be really selective. Our site's going to come with a lot of good plugins to start with, and you could use them. I think it's really nice of HostGator for setting us up with these plugins because we wouldn't know about them otherwise. And they do really good things like Google Analytics and Mojo, and this is like a theme marketplace and forms. But we sort of have our own way of doing all these things, which we've tried and tested in our YouTube and blog community over here. And so, yeah, we're just going to do it that way because it's obviously better. All right. So we're actually going to deactivate these plugins and then we're going to proceed from there. First off, leave the Akismet anti-spam there. It's just going to help stop spam comments and other spam on your blog. Really good. Next up, we're going to deactivate Monster Insights. Cool. We're going to deactivate Jetpack. Jetpack is good for connecting to WordPress.com. If you have that, you might consider it. We're going to deactivate Mojo. We're going to deactivate Opt-in Monster. Again, these are all really great plugins. They do amazing things. We just have our own way of doing things. All right, very good. With those deactivated, we're going to select all, unselect Akismet, then go to Bulk Actions, delete, and apply, and OK. And it should zap them one by one. Great job. Let's click Plugins to refresh the list. All right, so now let's get the ones that we actually want. So click Add New. And we're going to search plugins. And the first one, can you guess it? Is, of course, Elementor. All right, with the O right there and the E right there. And it's right here with this cool E icon. So we're going to click Install Now and activate. And there's all sorts of cool features you can add on to Elementor if you choose to in the future. But it also comes with a ton of features out of the box. Can't wait to use it. It's like a Christmas present times 2. All right, now we're going to go to Add New again, and we're going to search for Contact Form 7. All right, which we'll use towards the end of the video. This one right here with the mountain, Install Now, and activate. This is really good for your contact page so that you don't have to put your email up if you don't want. People can just write in the form and get a hold of you. All right, so our plugins look good for now, and now we're going to install your theme. So to install a new theme, you want to hover on Appearance and click Themes. This is where all the themes are that your site already has, and this one's active. 2017 is active, as it says right here, so your site shows this one. You can look at another one, and you can also delete it in the lower right. But we'll keep these. They're made by the WordPress team. They're really cool. And we're going to click Add New. So even though our WordPress site has the 2017 theme, it's really kind of great and all, and just looks pretty because these cactuses, I don't know, they do it for me. I have like 10 of them. You know, as we may have mentioned earlier, you just can't do that much with this theme. It's super lightweight and basic, and it's basically for blogging. And the downside is a lot of other people use it. And we want total customizability. We want super unique, and we want just our own look. And why wouldn't we? So to get our own look, we're going to go back to Add Themes, and we're going to do a search for a theme called OceanWP. This theme is a godsend. I am so amazed by it. I can't believe it's free, and I would bet that this might be the only theme you ever have to install. And we're going to get so good at it that you can build almost any website look you see online with OceanWP. It's just that good. All right, so let's click install to try it out. And of course use it. And then click activate. All right, so you successfully changed your theme. If you refresh your site, it should show Ocean. All right, so we're on the right track. And we gotta fill it in with some cool content now. But first, go back to manage themes, and it's gonna say if your theme recommends any plugins. So Ocean does. Let's go ahead and just get those out of the way. Click begin installing plugins. Just select them and click install, apply. All right, so this will make our life easier later on. All right, now if we go to plugins, we can see you should have 5 plugins active at the moment: Akismet, Content Form 7, Elementor, Ocean Demo Import, and Ocean Extra. If your screen looks like mine, then you're all set to proceed. So the next thing I want you to do is create the page structure for your site, because right now, what we're looking at doesn't really help us when we build it. We want to have pages live and also in a menu so that we can click around and get to the right page and just edit it. Right now what we're showing is sort of the default WordPress blog layout. This is just a sample post that WordPress made for you with a sample comment, sample sidebar, sample, archives. We didn't write anything in March 18. I don't know why it's March, it's June right now. In any case, this looks like a default blog. We want to get rid of it super quick. So let's do it, and we'll do it the right way, the way a web designer would. I actually used to be a web designer, by the way, sitting down in coffee shops and pitching websites to people and then telling them all sorts of stuff I would build for them that I had no clue how to build yet. So, of course, I eventually figured it out. And to get started with those pages, we're just going to come back to our dashboard and click Pages. And we're going to trash these demo pages. I think my cat is bashing the lamp with his paws to try to catch bugs. Interesting strategy. And now to add a new page to your website, just click Add New. All right, and the first page I want you to add is super redundant. We're just going to add a front page, and this will become your home page. All right, very cool. Now I'm going to show you some basic OceanWP settings that we're going to apply to almost every page we make. It'll just make our life easier and basically just help you get rid of anything you don't want on your site. So those settings are right here in OceanWP. And the first thing we're going to do is make the content layout full width. All right, so that'll allow your content to expand to the far left and far right of the screen and get rid of the white space over here. Then we're going to make your margins disabled, get rid of more unnecessary space that can just confuse us when we're trying to make things full width. Next, we're going to go to header, and we're going to disable your top bar, which is just this bar right here, just another WordPress site. And we're going to go down and we're going to enable the header. So we're going to use the header from Elementor, and that's where we're going to put your logo and your nav menu. It's really helpful to do it this way. That way all of our pages have a header above them, and we can make it transparent or sticky or do whatever we want with it. The alternative is custom Elementor headers that you make as a template, and then you can assign them to different places. And we're going to do that with our footer. So you'll basically learn both methods, and we'll see how that works. Header style, just leave it as default for now. Then we'll go to title, and we're going to get rid of the page title. Cool. We're keeping it really clean and simple here, guys, and now we're just going to publish the first page. All right, so I'm going to repeat this process now for all the pages on our site, and you can follow along with me, although I might hurry it up a little bit just to get us to the building content part. So we click Add New at the top, and we're going to do our About page. Pretty cool. Everyone needs one of those. Now let's get those OceanWP settings out of the way. So content layout full width, disable margins, we'll go to header, disable the top bar, enable the header, and go to title and get rid of that page title. And we can publish it. All right, now add new. We're gonna do this for our work page. So once again, content layout full width, margins disabled, header, disable top bar, enable header, and title, disable the page title, and publish. So these are going to give us really clean layouts, just simple pages where we can put in all of our Elementor content and still use some of the best features from OceanWP at the same time. All right, so now that we've done a few pages, I'll race ahead and finish the rest of them for us. And those are going to be services, contact us, and we'll finish together with the blog page. So our last page is blog. And for this one, it's even more simple. All you need to do is just call it blog or whatever your blog is going to be named. Maybe you have your own name for it, and then just publish it. So we're going to do something special now with the front page and the blog page, and that would be to go to settings, reading, and in WordPress, They give you the option to set up what your homepage shows and what your post page shows. And if you do this option, you have more control of your site. If you leave it as your latest post, then on the homepage, you just see a blog post and this blog stuff over here. So we want to get rid of that blog look, at least when someone first visits your site. And that's why in reading settings, we're going to click your homepage displays, not your latest post, but a static page. And that static page is just going to be our front page. And that way we can drag and drop content into the homepage and make it look however you want when someone first lands on your site. And then we're also going to make the post page the blog. So that moves all the posts, like this default post, over to your blog page, which will just be a totally different page. And now save those changes. All right, so once you do all that, you can refresh the site and you should see some pretty significant changes. So now we have a totally blank canvas to make a website on. Great. The last housekeeping thing I want you to do is just go to your settings and click Permalinks. And then just choose post name, all right? Choosing post name is the best option here because right now by default, if you look at the links to your pages, they might have some like random codey stuff in them. Like if you look at our work and you click view page at the top to look at it, right now we have an index.php in our link. That's sort of just standard HTML and website stuff, which some sites on the web still use today. But we're going to get rid of this section because I believe, like a lot of other bloggers do, that your links should be as simple as possible and should only include keywords like our work. That's because Google likes simple. They'll be able to read your links quicker and then you can rank better in Google, hopefully as a result. So go to Permalinks, choose post name and save it. And now if you refresh that page, you'll get rid of the index.php. Great, so now we can click on your site title to get back to the home page, and it's finally time to start creating our website. So we'll try to follow as predictable of a workflow as possible, and we're just going to start creating your home page top to bottom, and then we'll create the next page, and then the next page, and the next page from top to bottom. We'll make sure they're all linked together and they all look really good with a similar overarching style, and yet that each one of them does their own unique thing. Each one of the pages, that is. All right, so the first step is just to click Edit Page at the top. And now we can click Edit with Elementor. And what a lot of WordPress peoples don't realize is that there's really cool templates here, which you can install to make your website more powerful. Now we're not going to use a template, even though we have in the past, because this time we want to learn how to build everything from scratch. But if you do need to just hop away, or if your boss is going to look at the website you made tomorrow and you need something good, maybe you even work at a law firm or something, and you know this would be perfect then. You just grab a template, it's got some content, you can just write in your own headers, your own text, put in your own pictures, but it will all look like a real website right away. And yeah, if you work for a law firm, it's even better. And so you can make your website look like a real website in a lot of different categories. There are a ton in the template section. And again, to use them, you just click on one like restaurant, and then you click insert, and then whatever page on your website you insert this into will become the entire template, and it'll look really cool. So even though we want to create every section of your website from scratch, I've looked through all these templates, and there's exactly two sections that I really love. And if you look through them, maybe you can find more. And I, above all, just want your websites to look incredible. And so I want to show you how to use these two specific sections. And this is one of them with the checkered pattern. That's really cool. I've never seen anything like this before in a WordPress website. So I want to show you how to just grab this specific section if you think it's going to be good for your website, which I definitely do think is good, because they can make your website look really cool. So this is one of them that we're looking at here. And what I want you to do is just click insert here on this restaurant template. All right, and so it's going to become our page. Donald and Preston, our suites. And of course you can choose any of these to keep if you want. This is just like one of my favorite templates by far. Specifically this checkered box pattern area, because it has the slider and then it has a video down here. Really cool stuff. Got the parallax section. So what I'm going to do for this website here we're building, and again it's up to you if you want to keep like visit us or keep the whole thing, you could just update it. I'm actually going to delete from top to bottom. Delete. We're going to keep the checkered section. Should we keep this featured quote too? I can practically hear you guys saying keep this section too. We'll just replace it with our own quote. All right, fine, we'll keep this section. And so then you have that featured quote, and we're gonna get rid of this and get rid of that. Perfect. So now let's update the page. And now this stuff would be on our homepage when people found it. So you could replace this with your own branding or your own messages about your site, your own video, your own image slider. And now we're just gonna click add template one more time to get that second little template section that I really love for you guys. And to get to this section, you just have to scroll all the way to the bottom, and it's called the Hero UI Kit right here. So click on that. And like I said, you can keep any of these sections. This is sort of like one of the more stealth layouts that Elementor built for us. So you could keep that iPhone, you could keep the image of the desert, and when you insert this, you get all the images, and you get the laptop image, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of like we're importing demo content that you don't have to use, but you can use at any time on your website. So let's click insert. And it's just nice because that way our media library has some cool images and you don't have to have that blank site feeling, which I know a lot of you guys don't like, and I don't like it either then. All right, so with this section, I want us to keep the laptop in the park right here. I think this is super genius. It looks like someone opened up their laptop and they're building an Elementor like in Central Park, and the park is just behind their laptop. So I really like that. It's really unique, and I'm gonna keep that. Gonna delete the sidewalk, delete this, and you can obviously recreate any of this stuff. It's all done with Elementor in the free version. Delete that, and then we're gonna create all of our own stuff. All right, we're gonna delete this. All right, and even when we delete it, we get this laptop image in WordPress. So we can use it again, which we're gonna. All right, we're gonna delete this little footer here from the foodies. Perfect, and let's update. Good job. So we'll blend each of these elements into our finished product website, but at least we have them to start with. Now I wanna show you how to make that large image that goes at the top of the website, and it's actually a video background behind the image. It contains our welcome message, our subheading, a button, and all that. And a really good place to start, because we need a video background, is actually just going where Elementor got their video backgrounds. So to find this video link, we want to start by clicking on the settings for this entire element, which are up here. It looks like a little file cabinet up top. Click on that, and then you click on style, and that's where the video link is. So we can double click on that and then copy it. And then we're gonna see what other related videos are good background videos on YouTube. Because we know if Elementor's getting them somewhere, it must be a good place. All right, so we're just gonna scroll down, and I'm gonna look at this one, which is cool. And if you needed a typer, there you go, but we can also click walking away. Sorry about all my other related videos, by the way. All right, and to get to the point, we can click on the cover beautiful free videos for your homepage, and you can see all their really cool videos. All right, so I'm gonna check out Cheer Up. All right, so that's really nice if your audience likes concerts, really cool. And then I'm gonna check out Beach Camera. All right, so if you're a photographer, this could be a good place to start. All right, pretty cool. Okay, so once you select a background video to use on your website, you wanna do two things. We wanna first just copy the background link. And to get it working on our site, we can go back to our front page, scroll all the way to the top, and just click on the plus up here, which will open up a brand new section. We can click add new section, and we can give ourselves the one column layout. And you can see this is the new section up here, just sitting there at the top. So now we've added a new section, and we can drag some content into it, like text, a heading, an image, all that, a button, for example. And then we can put the background on the entire section so that everything we put inside of it sits inside that video background. All right, so let's do it. You can click on this little Rubik's Cube in the upper left corner to get to the elements that we can bring in, and then we can just start bringing them in. So I want to bring in a heading, click on the Rubik's Cube, and then we're going to bring in the text editor. And it takes a little bit of getting used to because we actually want to hold and excuse me, sorry about that. We want to hold the element right here and click and drag and get that blue line. So that's where it's gonna go, like not above the heading, but below the heading. Takes a little getting used to, all right? But you know, if I can do it, so can you. Then we're gonna grab a button, bring it in, And so pretty soon you'll get used to seeing that little blue section and just dropping it in. Great, so now to insert that video background, you click on the file cabinet for the section, the whole settings of the section, and then click on style, and that's where the background goes. And in background, we'll get the option for background type. We get classic, gradient, and background video. So of course we want that one. Now all you have to do is just paste in that video link right here, and it should show up in the background. The second thing we'll do with that video background is get a still shot to put as our background fallback, which will work on mobile devices or anything that doesn't load quickly, even though mobile devices do load quickly. Just anywhere where the video won't play, they'll see a still image from the video. And we're gonna do that in a moment, but for now, let's give ourselves some space so we can see the whole video and we can work around with this stuff we put in this section. So come back to layout, make sure you're still on the settings sections up here. Click that if you lose it. Go to layout and then just click stretch section. Very good, let's leave this box for now, leave the columns gap default, but where it says height, we can make it fit to screen, and that's sort of the magical setting. Now we have a full screen video, almost. Great, and if you see some extra white space above the image, you can try, like I just did, going from columns gap to no gap, but I don't think that did anything. So let's put some simple styling on that heading and that text editor and that button that are inside this video. We can click on the heading, and then we can just change what it says here. And I'm just gonna write, capture your passions. All right, and then we can add some simple style, like center it. We can also click style, and what I like doing most is going to typography. And in this section, you can make it bigger. Super easy to make it bigger. You don't need to know any sort of code or anything like that, just drag it. So 80 I think looks good, and now we're gonna go with a font of your choosing. There are tons of them. You can obviously try them out. You know, that one's like kind of crazy, and this one's kind of straightforward. You're gonna really have fun with the fonts. Don't go too crazy. And I'll give you a recommendation now. I really like the one called Roboto, because Roboto's been really popular in the past few years on the web, maybe longer. And now we can choose its line height if we want. We can make more space around the image, but shouldn't need any more than about 1.2 as long as it's on one line. If it's on two lines, then you know, you might have to play around with that a little more. Next, we can make that text color a nice white. And now let's change that text editor. Click on the text below it, and we're gonna write out some new text. So we can just delete it. And all I'm gonna say is today, and share them with the world. All right, so the old WordPress way of changing up these text editors, like in a blog post, is to click on the kitchen sink right now, toggle toolbar, and then you can highlight it and change the color or center it and stuff like that. But I don't want you to do any of that. Just leave the text blank, because when you do those things, it creates little pieces of code around the text right here. We don't want them because Elementor is gonna actually do it for us, and it all works a little bit better. We just have to click style, and now you can center it there, and of course change the text color to white. And then we can of course change the typography too. So we'll bring that up so that it goes across the size of the header above it. So something like 40 should work really good, maybe 43. Oh, I was wrong. 48, perfect. And we're actually gonna click on the header above it and style, and we're gonna make that one even bigger because why not, we can. All right, so let's bring that all up to 100, not 1,000. All right, and then that looks good for the text editor. Now let's just change the heading font to also Roboto. All right, keep it consistent. And we're gonna click on the button beneath it, and we're gonna center that button. We can make that button small or medium or large, so a little bit bigger. You can see a little bit more attention grabbing, and we're gonna click icon, and we're gonna give this one a little arrow. That arrow is going to go downwards. So when people click it, it's going to take them down the site to another important section of your choosing. And that little downwards arrow kind of indicates that. We can also make that icon go after the text. Looks a little better, and you can just space it out, so it's not quite so close to the lettering. All right, very cool. So we're going to get rid of click here. Click here just doesn't really jive with people that much anymore. I think they know they're going to click something, but something a little more descriptive of what they're gonna do, like get started, says a lot more. And that should work with any niche you choose. Now we'll click style and change up that button style. What I want to show you how to do is to make that button blue, but also to make that button transparent when you hover over it, so the background becomes the woman or the ocean. So in order to do that, make sure you're on normal, not hover. Make sure you're on normal and click on background color. And then you can just change the overall color to blue. Very good. And you can click on the color itself to move away from this section. Like open it, close it, open it, close it. Now we're going to give it a border, which is solid. We're going to give the border that same blue color, which might seem redundant, but it's necessary. We can change the border radius to make that button a little bit more round. Super cool. 25 looks good. And we need to give our border a width, like 2, so it's actually a border. Alright, now we want to click on hover, and we're going to change the button settings when someone is hovering over it. So I'm going to go to text color and make that text blue on hover. We can see it becomes blue, it kind of goes away, which is not, but we're going to make it all come together. And now we're going to choose background color and take this right slider here and drag it all the way down, which makes it transparent. And now we click away, and you're going to see that we have a nice transparent button. Now I realize I was a little foolish for making that text blue because it doesn't look quite as clear as white, so we can just change that text color on hover back to white. Very nice. And we could even change that border to a solid white, alright, which would possibly look even cooler. Make it a little bigger and make that border color white. Alright, so I'll let you guys run with that. We're just going to update it now. Pretty cool. If you wanted to look at your changes before you update them, you can click on the preview button in the lower left down here, which is this eyeball. And it'll open your site in a new tab. And then if you want to actually just get to the home page as it is now live, you can just click on your site title or your logo or whatever's up here. Alright, pretty cool. So to complete this upper above the fold, as they call it, section of your website, I want us to get a logo and a navigation menu, and then we're going to actually put those things inside the video background as well, so that the video background has everything inside of it. So it's going to be called a transparent header, and what you need to do to create it is just go back to the Elementor editor. We can get to our WordPress dashboard by clicking on the stack of pancakes in the upper left, and then clicking exit to dashboard. Now just come to OceanWP settings and click header and make that header style, instead of default, make it transparent and update. And let's check out the site. Very cool. And now our site title sits inside the video background, and the video background actually covers the entire screen all the way down to the bottom. Before it was kind of pushed down by the header. So next, to create that header of ours, we can just go back to our page editor, and we're actually going to hop over to Appearance Customize. If you hover on Appearance, you'll get this little drop down and click Customize. This is where a lot of the old WordPress edits used to take place. Still do. And now we're just going to click on Menus, and we're going to click Create a New Menu and give it a name. So we're going to call this Main Navigation. It's going to ask us where we want this menu. So we're going to say Main and click Next. Main menu goes in the main. And now we just need to add some items. So click Add Items. It's going to give us that little bounce to tell us we got to do that. And we're just going to select pages that we've already made. So we're going to select Home, Blog, Contact, Services, and Our Work. Alright, give it a second, and those will come in on the upper right. We'll just change the positioning of them because we want the blog to be at the end and Contact Us to be down there too. And we forgot our About page. There it is. Alright, really cool. We're going to bring that up to the number 2 slot. And so right now, home and front page are the same thing, so whichever one you want to use is fine. To change what they say, the text on them, you can just click to open it up, and you can change the navigation label right here. You can also change the URL to where this goes if you want it to go to like Google or Facebook or something like that, although we're going to add social media icons later. But if you want to just change this from contact to contact, get rid of the us, you could do that really easily. And if you want to make a drop down, all you do is just drag one of these items inwards and it will fall under the other one, which it is underneath. So About now would have like a drop down with a drop down in it. Really easy. Alright, let's get rid of those drop downs, and we're just going to publish our menu. Now I'm going to get you a logo, or rather a couple logos that will go on a light background like this or a dark background like we're going to set up later. To get our logos, I like going to logomaker.com. That's logomaker without the e.com. And it's really easy to get started with a logo. All you need to do is search graphics in the upper left, and you can search something cool like palm tree. Those are probably never going out of style. Or you could search something a little more abstract like triangle, and you're gonna get all these really cool looking triangles. Or you could search something which I usually end up going with, which is a compass. I don't know why, I just like the compass. It sort of says that our website gives someone direction. It's worked for us in the past, I don't know. And then you're just gonna wanna find a really simple logo. It's gonna be tempting to pick a complex one with a lot of features on it, but for something to actually look good on a background like this, it's gotta be simple. And we're just gonna pick this one to pick your logo. And we're just gonna pick this one right here to pick your logo. Just click it, it'll fill in the screen. And you might say, that's not a compass, to which I would respond, are you a compass maker, little rabbit? Okay, so compass color. We want the exact color to go on our logo, whatever it is, if it's a compass or a palm tree, whatever it is. So to find an exact color, you can go back to your website. There's a number of ways to do it, but if we know we want this blue right here, we can just click Edit with Elementor, click on the button to open up its settings, and then we're gonna click on Style. We know it's the blue already, but if we click on the background blue, it'll also give us the 6-digit hex. We wanna highlight this, copy it, including that pound sign, and come back to Logo Maker. Then just put that hex in right here. Just highlighted it and paste it, and we'll get the blue. Now you can also click on it to make it a little bigger. You just drag in the corners. If you wanna change the proportions of it, hold Shift and then click and drag, and you can do anything like that. If you don't like how it looks, hit Command or Control Z to undo. You can also add some text to your logo right here. This is just a little logo tutorial, by the way. You didn't realize this was how to make a logo, but it's also how to make a website with a logo. So if you want to write in some text, that's super easy. Just go ahead and add your text, and you can also make that text the same color. Just keep it selected and make sure that you paste in that hex again right there, and now you have a blue logo and a blue compass to describe it, or something like that. Once your logo is ready, click on the crop button in the lower right. That'll just crop it down, but make sure to click enter so it actually crops. Now we can click save logo in the upper right corner, and we're gonna use the option on the right. All right, we're gonna do it for free, but you have to make sure to give credit to the logo makers themselves. So to do that, click paste this code first, this link right here. Now go back to WordPress and just come back to your dashboard by clicking on the pancakes, exit to dashboard. I know this is a little bit of work, but we always gotta make sure we're doing the right things with giving credit. And go to pages, add new, and I'm just gonna help you set up your credits page. All right, so you can just call it credits. All right, and then we can just paste those credits in the text tab here because it's gonna be a little bit of code with a link. Great, so now it has a link. You can go to visual, and this is what the credits will look like. Then we're just gonna click publish, and so yeah, make sure to add this page to your website. All right, now let's get that logo posted. Back in Logo Maker, we can click download and agree to give credit. It's gonna give us the download file for the logo. So we're just gonna call this star because it's really more of a star than a compass, blue logo. Very cool, and save it. Now before we leave this Logo Maker window, I wanna give us a light version of this logo. So close this window, click on the logo again, and we're gonna drag that blue color into something more like a light gray. A very subtle light gray that'll look good on a dark background. All right, I think it's gonna be somewhere in this corner is what we want. Perfect, eBeef1. All right, great, now just save this one, and we can copy the credits again just to be super complete. All right, and then paste them in, and update the page, and we're just gonna download. We're gonna call this one star gray logo and save it. So now you should have 2 more logos than you had when you started this tutorial, and let's go and put one of them on our website. Let's go back to the editing window, and we're gonna be in customize here. Go back to the arrow, and now we're just gonna click on header. All right, now we wanna click on logo, and in the logo selected, no logo selected area, click select logo, select files, and this will start searching your computer. And we're gonna click on wherever the logo went to. In our case, it's documents. And I'm gonna click on one and then the other one. I'm just holding command here, and then I'm gonna click open. That's all you need to do to get both of them on your site. All right, and now we can try out the blue one because it's selected right here, and we'll just click select. We're going to skip cropping because that would make the logo look different or smaller. Give it a second. And there we have our new logo, but it looks huge. We definitely don't want it to cover up capture and all that. So go down here and drag that max width to something a little bit more appropriate. Alright, so I like my logo small. Not too small, but definitely not too big either. I'd rather it's smaller than bigger because it can get distracting if it's too big. Sometimes you see people's blogs and like the upper 1/3 of their screen is a logo. Alright, that size works for me. You can also change the max height if you want, but I'd rather just leave that one alone. We won't change that. So if you change one of them by accident and you want to make it go back to how it was, just bring it back all the way to the left and it should reset. Alright, now let's just publish. Super cool. And if you want to get rid of this white line, which we do, we can go back and let's click on general and we're going to uncheck header, border, bottom. Awesome. And publish. Now last but not least, in our header, we might want to change the color up here to a blue. This is sort of our action color. When people see blue, it means they can click it. They can click on the logo. They can click on the buttons. Very good color for clicking. So to change the color of the menu links, click out of customize. It's going to bring us back to the OceanWP settings. We can click on menu. And then we can click on, when we scroll down, click on link color. And we need to get that blue again from the button, so click the button, style. If you forgot, which you probably, if you're like me, then you did, then you click on this blue and copy and back in the link color. Just go ahead and paste that in. And when you click away, the color will populate and just update it. So now we've changed the button link color for just this specific page. Alright, so it's just going to be the settings for this front page, and it looks pretty awesome. Alright, so while I still have you, before you start going crazy with all that Elementor can do, I want to show you how you can replicate elements on other websites that you see on the web using, obviously you see them on the web, their websites, using Elementor and using the power of Elementor. So let's go to the Apple website, and before they change the entire website, I want to show you how to build this really cool section right here with the MacBook, and then you have the nice font and the heading and then the button and the link. So I hope to show you that if Apple can create it on their website, you can create it on yours. And of course we could pick another section, like if we had a couple kids to take a photograph of, we could do this section, or you know, if we were in a business meeting. I'm not sure if we could create this section. This one's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to look into that for you guys. That's very advanced, but hey, who knows? For now, we're going to start by creating this section on the Apple website, on our website. All right, so let's go back to our Elementor editors. And so when we made the header transparent, it just decides not to show, but it's still there. And we're going to scroll down, and we're just going to add a new section right beneath our nice little photographer here. So to do that, just hover on any section and click plus, and a new section will come in right above it. Now let's click add new section. And for our structure, this time we just want the 2 columns. Very cool, so now let's click on the Rubik's Cube, and it looks like Apple has a heading and some text and a link and a button. So we're going to get some headings, just one, and back to Rubik's Cube and some text and a button. Alright, and that link can just go in the text. That's really easy. Now for the right is where the fun part comes in. We need that cool image that's like half of a computer, and we need to be able to decide what goes on the computer. So let's update this section, and let's actually just open up WordPress in a new window like this. Go to the dashboard, and let's see, maybe we have a cool laptop image in our media. So if we click on media, you might be happily surprised to know that we do. We got this cool half laptop image from the Hero UI builder that Elementor made for us. So we're going to download this to your computer and then use a really beginner-friendly photo editor that I use for almost all of my website photos and anything from YouTube thumbnails or advertisements or blog images that just need to be touched up or add a little text on top of them, something like that. And that's PicMonkey. Alright, so first we need to download the image. Copy that image link and then open it in a new tab and then just paste it in. And we're going to hit enter, and that'll go to just the image itself. Now we're going to right click on it and save image as to download it to a computer. So we can call this one like half laptop and save. Alright, I already had one, so looks like we're going to need the second one and save it. Now I'm just going to open up PicMonkey and get to work. Alright, so I'll give you a link to PicMonkey in the description beneath the video. I definitely recommend you sign up. It costs a very small amount, but for that small amount, you can basically become your own graphic designer. You don't have to pay anyone on Fiverr or go and request some services. You can design your own logos, graphics, collages, whatever you want. It's more than awesome. And if you really don't want to get PicMonkey, you can also do this for free using pixlr.com. That's Pixlr.com, but this is way more fun. Alright, so once you're in your PicMonkey canvas right here, you just want to click Open New at the top and grab from your computer. And then we're going to grab Half Laptop 2. Alright, cool. So now we're in the editing window for Half Laptop 2. And I just want to put an image on top of it that looks like what Apple's doing here with an image of a laptop. I don't have a laptop handy, so I'm going to grab an image of my desktop. So I'm actually just going to pull everything away, and I'm going to take a selective screenshot by hitting Command-Shift-4, and I'm just going to drag down, and I'm sorry you can't see, well maybe you can see my icons. Alright, so if you can't, sorry. But now we're just going to get what looks like a consistent width on both sides. Doesn't have to be perfect, and we're just going to let go and take the screenshot. Now we're going to go back, and we're going to come to PicMonkey, and we're just going to click on the butterfly now, which is overlays, things that go on top of your image, anything from symbols to arrows to spirographs, whatever you want. And we're going to add our own. So click Add Your Own, click My Computer. Now we're just going to find the screenshot we took, which should be on my desktop. There we go, double click it, or you can click Open. And now here's the screenshot. So we just need to position it a little bit better. Just going to make it a little bit bigger so that it covers the entire background area. Alright, and then we can click away to see how it looks. It looks good. I just want the gray space beside and above to be the same. Push it in a little more, and we did it. Beautiful. Now we just need to save this image and put it on our website. Alright, so in order to do that, click Export. Make sure it's a PNG here so it's the highest quality, and then just give it a title, like Half Laptop 2 with background. And export to computer and save. Now come back to WordPress in our media library, and we can just close this Half Laptop, and we can actually go to our Elementor window here, and we're going to put it on the right hand column. So just click on the Rubik's Cube. Now we're going to drag in our first image. So it's just a simple image right here. Just click and drag, throw it in, and then click on top of it on the left to choose our image. Select Files, grab our Half Laptop 2 with BG. Very good, and click Insert Media to make it come to life. Alright, cool. So now we just need to do some basic styling, and we're almost there. So I'm going to go ahead and change our heading right here, and we're not going to make it say exactly what Apple says, but we're going to call it like Mac OS Dolphin. Cool. That could be a thing. And then we're going to come down and change the text to, something descriptive about it. So we're not going to use Apple's exact text, but we're going to say the dolphin is the future. It's also underwater and is an Arctic dolphin. Okay, we can also center our text. Click on Style, just center it. And we can also click on the heading and center it. If it doesn't center, just click on it a couple more times. And we can click on the button and center the button. And to make this section even more precise, we're going to add another header above the header. Click on the Rubik's Cube and one more heading. And we're just going to write another heading to go beneath the heading, which is simply delightful. Alright, now click on it, and to drag a heading or move it, just click on the pencil and drag it down. And center. And now let's click Style, and we're going to make this one a little bit bigger. Click Typography, make it bigger. Very cool. And now we click on the text and make that text bigger. So not too much bigger, but Style, Typography. Alright, a little bit bigger. And for our button, we can just click on it and we can change the text to coming to stores near you. Alright, very cool. Now let's just update and let's see what we made. Okay, so if we check out our website now, we can see that we're getting there with our Apple section. but we still need to add some other things. We need to add the gradient and we need to add some padding around it so that we can achieve this exact look right here. All right, so to add that gradient, you can just go to Elementor and we can hover on the entire section and click on the file cabinet for the settings. Now click Style, and in the background area, we're going to choose Gradient. So what we have here is a first color and a second color that belong to the gradient. The first color is right here, and we just need to click like a blue, maybe a darker blue, maybe an even darker blue, and we can just pull the wheel. So that looks kind of cool, but of course we want to go for that exact look just to prove that we can do it. And so yeah, we're going to actually make it a little darker. So we have to eyeball it a little bit, but if you wanted to get really specific, you could take a screenshot of that Apple gradient. So I just hit Command-Shift-4 on my Mac, or you could do print screen on a PC and grab like a section including the whole gradient. And then you can go to PicMonkey and upload it into PicMonkey, and you can use one of their color selectors to find the exact colors. In our case, I'm happy with a dark blue for the color 1, and then for color 2, just a black. Now to get more spacing around this section, let's just go from Style to Advanced, and I'm just going to throw a 20 padding on the entire thing. So we can see that might not be quite enough, and we can raise it to 50, let's say, and that will just give space in between the content and the border of the section. So it would be like right in here, and right in here, right in here, and right in here. But we have a problem because our half laptop doesn't want to be floating in the middle of this element. We actually want it to be up against the side of the window like it is on Apple. So what we can do is unlink the padding, and that way we can remove the padding on the right and we can remove the padding on the left. So it's just top and bottom spacing. Next we need to go back to layout, and where it says content with boxed, we want to make that full width. So that'll stretch it even further. And for columns gap, just go from default to no gap. And now we're touching the border. We can click on the settings for the left-hand column here by clicking on this file cabinet that's darker shade on the left. And then we can click Advanced, and we're going to center this left-hand content using more padding. So let's give this one some more padding. How about 40 across the board? Now it's looking a little bit more like Apple. We might want to bring that up to maybe like a 60. Now we can just click the button, and we're going to make it so it's a white transparent button. Just click on Style. We're going to make its background color nothing by, remember again, dragging this slider all the way to the right. Alright, click away from it. We're going to give it a border type solid. That border color will be white. And for the border to show up, it just needs a width. Perfect. Now we just need to add a link beneath our text, so we can click on the text area, and then you can click enter right beneath the last word, and then we'll just write see the preview with an open alligator bracket. To set up a link right here, you can just highlight the anchor text you want, which is the text that the link goes around. Click on the Insert Edit Link button, and then you can go ahead and just type in some very relevant linkage, which is just www.apple.com. To make this open in a new tab, click on the gear, and now let's open link in a new tab. Check that box and update. Now we just want to make everything inside the text editor white, so click on Style, click on text color, and let's make it white. And if the link color doesn't change, you just need to go back to the content and highlight it, and we're just going to manually tell that link that the color is white. We're going to give ourselves a little more space above and below the laptop, so go to the edit section, hit that file cabinet, advanced, and then bring our padding up to, let's say 80 and 80. And update it. And now when we go to our site and refresh, it kind of looked cool with the white background, but now we have something much closer to what it looked like on the Apple website. So let's compare it. We have what we made, and we have what Apple made, what we made, what Apple made, pretty close. I think they have the updated version of the MacBook Pro, but we don't exactly want to spend like $2,000. So the last step would just be to add some spacing between this section and the one beneath and above it. You can see Apple has that really subtle background for each of their sections, which sort of lets you know you're like, oh, I'm on this section, and then, oh, another section. So to do that, just go back to Elementor, click on the file cabinet for the whole settings sections, go to Advanced, and we're going to give it some margin above and beneath of, let's say, 40 pixels, and there you have it. Perfect. Now we've created a section that looks I would say at least 90% like it does on the Apple website. If they change it pretty soon, Apple loves updating their website, then at least we captured it on video. And now you know some of the web design skills that a near trillion-dollar company is using on their website. Let's make sure to update, and we could of course go crazy designing the homepage, but I want to show you how to create those additional pages on our site. You can of course edit the content in here, but I want to show you how to create even more sections, and then I'm pretty sure we'll figure out how to bring those back to the homepage if we want to do that later. So let's scroll up to the top, and we're just going to click on one of our additional pages, like About. All right, so as promised, we're going to work on our pages in a logical workflow, and About has nothing on it. So let's go ahead and add some About content and learn some new Elementor skills. So let's start by showing you how to set up a hero image with some text in it that's offset with a white background. So it kind of looks like someone's either saying something or thinking it, or it's just like a label for that image. So to begin, let's click Edit Page. And now we're going to edit with Elementor. All right, and we're going to click Add New Section. We're going to give it just one column, and this is just going to be a text editor. All right, very cool. I'm going to paste in some text I already wrote here about my beliefs on blogging and family and how they go together. Now we need a background image for our text, so let's click on the settings for the entire column and then Style. For background type, we want classic, so we get the image and click the plus sign and then click Select Files. And I'm going to upload an image that my dad and I took at the Taj Mahal. All right, I'll grab this image called Greg Narayan Email Marketing, just double click it to open. And then once it uploads, we're going to insert media. There we go. All right, so just like the video background, we're going to go to Layout and we're going to stretch that image and the whole section. Now, because it's an image, we also need to go to Style, and we need to tell it that the size of it shouldn't just be the default size, it needs to be the cover, which actually will cover the entire space, and it'll make your image show like everything that's inside the image. We can also go to Repeat, No Repeat, so the image doesn't show up more than once. And in Layout, of course, we can go to Height, which is Fit to Screen. Perfect. Now I'm going to show you arguably the best way to move a piece of text on top of an image within WordPress, because you can move it in any direction if you know how to use this technique. We want to click on the column settings right here, and then we want to go to Advanced, and now we're going to give some margin to this text, but instead of pixels we want %, and by giving it a percentage we'll actually make it a percentage of the screen size, so that this text should move to the right location, whether on a desktop, tablet, mobile, what have you. It'll adjust to the amount of percents that we tell it to adjust. We're also going to unlink the values because we want to give it a different margin for a lot of these. And let's start by giving it 25% distance from the top of the screen, 10% distance from the right of the screen, 0 distance from the bottom of the screen, and then 60% margin from the left of the screen. And we can see that last one made it jump over here and condense perfectly. So of course, play around with those values depending on where you want your text to be floating on top of the image. The next thing we can do is pretty cool. We can just click on top of the text editor, and we're going to go to Advanced and give this a background color. So we can open up Background, and we can give it a classic background and a color which is just white. All right, now I'm not at all sure why part of that text got bigger than the rest of it, so let's dig into that. Let's click on the text editor and click Content and go to the Text tab. We can see somehow a little span found its way in here. So we want to delete any funny styling in the form of a span on top of the text. Perfect, and now we can just click Style, and in the Style tab is where we want to make it bigger. So we can make our text a little bit bigger. All right, maybe 3 lines is enough, and then we can center it. Pretty cool, and we can also click Advanced, so we can give it just a touch of padding on the left and right sides so that the words aren't flush up against the border. So let's unlink our padding section, and we're just going to give it 2 pixels on the right and 2 pixels on the left. All right, that looks great to me. I don't know what you think. Hope you like it. And we can just update it. Next, I'm going to show you how to create a counter and a progress bar beneath this hero image on the About page. It's a great way to show progress you've made on any project, or just give a visual piece of data that describes you. So we're going to click Add New Section. We're going to get 2 columns, and then we're just going to start drag and dropping. So let's go to our Rubik's Cube. We can scroll down, and we're going to get some fun features beneath here we haven't used yet. we're going to drag in the progress bar to the right, and we're going to go to the Rubik's Cube and we're going to drag in another progress bar. Or instead of dragging it in, something cool you can do is just duplicate it. So we can click on the progress bar, and then in the pencil area, just hover on the blue pencil and click duplicate and duplicate. Now in our left column, let's go to the Rubik's Cube, and I want to add an icon list. All right, very good. And back to the Rubik's Cube, and we're going to add a counter. All right, you probably found it quicker than I did. And there's our counter. All right, very cool. We're just going to click on the settings for this entire section and advanced and give it a little bit more spacing in the form of padding. I think 40 should be good. I'm going to take advantage of that white space. And now you can start editing to your heart's content. So let's start with the easy ones, which are just the icon lists. So we can click on one of them to expand it, and then we can change the text. I'm a blogger, check. And we can click on the second one and just talk about what you do, like you're a restaurant manager, or you're a sculptor, or a painter, or maybe you're a fitness coach, or a motivational coach, or a financier, whatever you are. Go ahead and tell people right here. And YouTuber. All right, and going along with the theme of that last one, I'm gonna put the number of subscribers we have here. You guys are all amazing. Without you, I couldn't do what I do. And we'll change the icon for each of those. So icon, just want that check mark again, because I'm not sure what the other icons would really mean, although I'm sure we could think of something that would have meaning for the different icons. So up to you. There's all sorts of social media icons too. And I'll just go to style and center this section. So the last check mark was YouTubers, so following that, I'm gonna give a shout out to all our subscribers here. Thank you guys so much for sticking around over the years and helping out with my new videos. Seriously, I do it for you guys, and I couldn't do it without you, so thank you. Love hearing from you, even if you've been hiding out for months on end, like me. So that counting number here is gonna be like a nice 27,000 even, although I think we might have broken it by now. And that's definitely a cool number, which is just subscribers. So right over that. Now we can change up our progress bars on the right. So I'm just gonna go with what I spend my time doing here, which is answering questions, and that's 50% of the day. And then I think we can go to style. We can also make the title style a little bit bigger. All right, so something like 20 should be perfect. And then we're gonna click inside, and we're gonna just go back to content and get rid of the inner text. All right, so I really like how that looked, so I'm actually gonna delete the other two progress bars and then just copy this one again. And this one's just gonna say WordPressing, and it's just gonna be 25%, so 25. And this last one is gonna be playing with kittens, which is another 25% of my day. Go figure. All right, so 25 is good. We're gonna update, and this section is done. Next, we'll see how to create a floating 3 images across the screen. All right, so we'll start by clicking add new section, and of course 3 columns here, and each one of those columns will contain an image. So click on our Rubik's Cube, and we're gonna pull in 3 different images. All right, so image, image, and image. Now to get those images, just click on top of them and then click choose your image, upload files, select files, and we ideally want 3 images with the same dimension. So in our case, that's gonna be 2:1 width to height. It's just these 3 images right here, and I'm just gonna click and then command click and open. All right, so the dimensions can be whatever you want as long as they are the same throughout the images, and you can also edit and crop images within WordPress. If you upload an image and you really don't want to edit it outside of WordPress, you can just click on it and then click this edit image link right here. And then you can edit the media file itself. You just need to click on it and hold to crop, or you can change the aspect ratio and then crop it. Really easy and pretty fun. All right, in our case, I'm just gonna grab this first one of the blogger. Second image, choose image, that's Angela and I in Vale. Third image, choose image, and kittens. Perfect. So how do we make these images stretch across the full screen? Well, we go back to the settings for the entire section. We're going to stretch this section. We're going to say content width be full width. And we're going to say columns gap, no gap. And we're done. And we can update. Alright, next I'll show you how to add an Instagram widget to your website. So let's click add new section and give it 2 columns, and we're going to put Instagram on the right. We can do a search for Instagram. There she is, and we can just pull it in on the right. And now we're going to start by getting rid of the title, and we're going to choose the images style of 3 columns. And there's some other cool settings you can play around with here, like what the button text says. But for now, we just want to make sure it's not Adidas, so it's not a messy Instagram. It's just us, which is Naragai. And we're going to give it a number of images to show, which matches with the images style we picked. Alright, pretty cool. We can also change the link to, so it goes to the Instagram image itself, or your profile, or a custom link. And we just want to add in a heading because we got rid of it. So let's click on the Rubik's Cube and then just drag in a heading. Alright, we're just going to call this one Instagram, and we can go to center and style, text color black, and then typography, we're going to want to make the size bigger, like 40, and then that'll be perfect. Alright, so we'll update that. It's done. And now we're just going to add some quotation marks on the left so it looks like we're all worldly and knowledgeable. Those are just text editors. So we just put one in there. And our first quote is by a cool guy named Lao Tzu. So we can just paste it in. And to make a quote, you just got to put quotes around your text and say who it's by. Then highlight the whole thing and just click on the block quote button. Boom, and done. We can click style, and we can actually make it bigger by going to typography, of course, and make it nice and large. We just have to change the line height then so that it's not too wide. All right, once we have one good quote, we can hover on the pencil and just replicate it and replicate it. All right, now we can enter in more quotes. So the second quote is buy the ticket, book the trip, and I believe Casey Neistat said that. So it's pretty cool. We'll give him credit for it. He might have said that, you know, in a cooler way, but it was something like that. A third quote, which is just be one with it, and it will be one with you. And that's my favorite proverb of all time. Proverb, because it says that if you want to become a part of something or something new, then the first step is just to make yourself a part of it and adopt its practices into what you are, and then the rest will fall into place and it will open its doors hopefully to you. Alright, so with that done, we just need to add some padding to each of these sections. So that's pretty easy. We just go up to the section and click on the settings for the whole section, go to advanced, and let's give it 40 all around, and it'll be nicely spaced. Now let's just update, and we're done with your about page. Great job. So when we refresh our about page, we see it looks really cool. We have the hero image, then we have our progress right here, and the 3 images, and then we have Instagram and quotes. Now you might be wondering what happened to our footer, and really nothing. We just have the default footer by OceanWP and Nick. And when we're finally done making our pages, we'll add a really stylish footer. Alright, so next order of business is just to create the services page. Let's click services. And now let's go to edit page. And edit with Elementor. And add new section. And this is just going to be a bunch of big 2-column sections going all the way down the page. The idea of this page is just to make your visitors really pleased and content when they think of your services, and I know an easy way to do that, and it's with images, lots of images, instead of lots of text, which everyone does, and then no one ends up reading it, and people wonder why they don't get their services read, or sadly sometimes used. Okay, so let's start building this section from top to bottom. The first thing we need is a heading, and then a divider and some text, and then a massive background image after that. So let's go to the Rubik's Cube and let's drag in a heading on the right. And we're also going to drag in a divider. Alright, divider is just a line that goes horizontally. And Rubik's Cube, and we're going to grab in a text editor. Okay, so let's do some basic styling here. Click on the heading. We're just going to call this a powerful heading. And click style, and we can bring that text size up. Click typography, bring that size up to something you think looks good. In this case, I'm going to change the font family to another one I like, and I know Elementor likes it. It's called Poppins. And we're going to click on the text editor, style, do the same thing with it. We're going to click typography to make it nice and big, just so it's legible, you know, no really small text that people have to squint at. And then from the family dropdown, we're just going to choose Laura. Elementor also loves Laura. You'll see that a lot on their sites. Okay, and then we can click on the divider, and I like making the width something a little bit less. 33 is perfect, and then making the weight bigger, and then we're just going to make that color of it a nice light gray. Something subtle. Alright, that should do, totally up to you. And now I'll just update. So enough of the text, let's start focusing on the images. So let's click on the settings for this overall section. Now we're going to click Style, Background Type Classic, and Image. Alright, and we're going to upload files, select files, and we're going to grab a ton of good background images for this page and others. Even though we have some already, I want to give you more. And by the way, if you look in the description, you'll likely find a link to download all the images so you don't have to go hunting around for your own if you don't want. Although most of these images did come from pixabay.com, which is free. So I'm just going to grab a lot of images here, just a lot of them, a lot of them, and that looks good, and open. Alright, so first let's go with this nice mossy green forest floor and insert media. Now let's go to layout and stretch it, and height, we're going to go to fit to screen. Perfect. Now we want to give ourselves a nice white background on this whole text section so that we can read it. So let's click on the column settings, and we're going to click on style, background type classic, background color white. Again, that was by clicking on the column settings right here, this grayed out little file cabinet where my mouse is. Now we can make this white box float inside the column, and we can make the text float inside the white box. You just need to have the column setting selected and click advanced. Then we're going to give it a margin of 60 pixels across the board, which pushes it inside the column because margin is space in between the border and the object itself. And then we're going to give it a padding of 20, which pushes the text inside of the object itself. Alright, super cool. I'm really excited about this, guys. Just want to make sure powerful heading is all on one line. So style, typography, and a little bit smaller, maybe 42. Great job. And we're going to make the color of it black. And update. Alright, so you can add icons to these sections. You can add links after each little text blurb, like maybe this talks about architecture or your design portfolio or all the different desserts you've made, or maybe just a cool company you've done consulting for, and then there's a link to the full project or something. That would be perfect for the services page. In our case, I just want to show you how to make this page flow beautifully top to bottom, so we're going to add a few more sections like this. Alright, so what we'll do to save ourselves time is just copy this section down the page. So we're going to click on duplicate, 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 and why not one more duplicate? Alright, there you have it. So now if you want to move this text block to the left-hand column, all you need to do is just delete this column, click the X, and then we're actually going to highlight and we're going to add another column, and it just jumps over to the left. Alright, so we're going to make it go like right, left, so we can do that again. Go to this column settings, hover right here, just hover right here on the column settings, click the X, and then add one. Alright, pretty cool. Now the good thing is we have more background images to choose from. So the next one is our fall leaves. We can just click on the section settings, style, change the background image, and grab the red bench, insert media, and voila, beautiful. If the image looks a little bit too big or out of proportion, you can always change the size to cover, and that'll make sure that the image gets centered and you get the full image, or at least almost all of it. We can also do that with our mossy grass floor. Just make the style, size, cover. Cool, looks even better. And if you're getting those duplicates of the image, make sure repeat is set to no repeat. Why is that happening? Oops, I meant cover, not contain. Alright, let's scroll down and keep moving on with the page, keep making it even more beautiful and diverse. We can click on our third services and change up the background image. Just click on settings, style, change image. We're going to grab the 3 windows here, really beautiful, insert media, and just make it no repeat and cover so it's consistent and awesome. Alright, let's add our next service here. Click settings, style, image, and these images could be anything. They could be photographs from your laboratory or your workspace. You know, they could be you out in the field, or just cool photographs you took when traveling, up to you. And we'll change up this service. Click settings, style, change image, grab the surfer and insert media, no repeat, and cover. Beautiful. And then we're going to move the text to the left. Remember, just by deleting this column and then adding it back in. We can change the background image for our final service to the dog. Insert media. Alright, perfect. And update. Alright, so once you're ready, go ahead and fill in the descriptions of your services, change up the headings, and you'll have a beautiful service page to show off to your viewers and, more importantly, your clients. Alright, so our services page is done. It looks amazing. And I want to show you a technique now that would create a page like this, but even quicker. So let's say that you set up another website on WordPress and you want to use your pages or your sections from Elementor on that website. You've already made the good ones, you want to pull them over to the website. Maybe you upgrade it from the hatchling to the baby plan to make another website and you want to just make it super quick with your sections. Or maybe you're just a little bit lazy like me and you don't want to make this entire website twice. So I've already made a really cool Our Work page for you guys, and I just want to go ahead and take this whole page with the background video and the quotes and all these different quotes from different places and these cool sections that I've made, and then you can fill them in because they're really awesome and fun. It's just too much to recreate from scratch, and I know I put a lot of design thought into why these things go in these places over here, the font sizes, the text, and everything. So I want everyone to be able to take advantage of that. Well, here's what we do to copy this section from one website to another, and basically copy an entire page from one website to another, which is something we haven't been able to easily do until now. So we can just start by clicking Edit with Elementor. Now in the control panel on the lower left, you should see a little arrow that says Save Options. Open that up and then you'll see Save as Template. Click that. We'll give it a name of Our Work Entire Page. And we'll click Save. Here it is. We just need to click on the three dots and click Export. And then save it as is. Alright, so we could see I was on this other demo website here on 6minutewebsite.com, and now I'm going to come back to our website we're building here. Alright, and we just need to open up the right page, which is Our Work. Now let's click Edit Page, Edit with Elementor. Alright, Add Template. Let's click My Templates. And we can see there's nothing here, so we have to add the template into our WordPress dashboard. Let's click on the pancakes and exit to dashboard. Now hover on Elementor and just click on My Templates. And then at the top, click Import Templates, choose File, and go ahead and click on the file and open the one that we just saved. And import now. Alright, and there it is. To use the template, we just need to go to the page we want to use it on, click Pages. Let's choose Our Work, Edit with Elementor. Now we're going to click Add Template, My Templates, and there it is. Hover on Our Work Entire Page and click Insert. And there it is, easy as that. All the content came in and it looks just like we wanted it to. Perfect. Let's update it. And we've created probably the quickest page ever in WordPress using Elementor. And of course, I'll give you this template in the video description below. Alright, let's just go to our homepage and make sure it's working. Click on Our Work. And beautiful. Great job. So now it's time to get our contact page up. You're probably going to have a few visitors, especially if you've been working on your site this much and making it look cool with cool features, and those visitors need a way to get a hold of you. So let's click Edit Page, and let's start building our contact page and edit with Elementor. And the first element we're going to create is just a full screen map that can show where your office is. So let's add a new section and use one column. And now we're going to search for map. Google Maps is what we want. Just drag it in. Perfect. Now this map is pretty smart. We can actually just type in what are basically just words, but Google will interpret the location as long as you spell it roughly correctly. And there we go. That's me. So now we're just going to click on the entire section settings, stretch it, make the content width full width, and make sure there's no gaps in the columns. And voila, you've just created your first full screen map. Below the map, we need a new section with 2 columns, and on the left, we're going to have our contact details. So we can click on the Rubik's Cube and we can just drag in an icon list. Very good, and below that, we can just click on the Rubik's Cube and drag in an image, just for fun. So the icon list is really easy. That's just going to be email, phone, address. So you can just click on the icons, open the first one up, and we're just going to write email, colon, and then our email, which you can all use if you have any questions about the tutorials. And I really do mean it. I don't want any question to go unanswered, so let me know how it's going. Although the YouTube comments are quicker for answers, they really are, because my inbox is like in the thousands. Alright, so we're going to get an icon that matches it. You can just click the icon box and then write in, if email doesn't show up, then how about envelope? There you go. So that's cool. And we can do the second one, which is just phone number, list item 2. It's going to be phone, colon. Alright, there we go. And then we can do the icon, phone. There you go. And then for the third one, click on list item 3. Really easy, just do address, and then we can do our address. Alright, and then we can just do the icon, which is just address book. Now for the image, we're just going to choose a fun image of some people out and about having fun. So we're going to grab this image of paddleboarding. Love paddleboarding. People do that a lot around here, although it doesn't look like that, but it's still pretty fun. And update it. Perfect, and then last but not least, on the right, we just want a contact form. So you might remember we installed that Contact Form 7 plugin. Now we're going to use it. We just have to go to our dashboard. We'll go back, exit to dashboard, and we're going to click on plugins. And now we're going to click on the settings for Contact Form 7. Super easy. You just want to click right here and then copy this entire shortcode, including the open close brackets. You just need to click to highlight and then copy it like that. Then just come back to our Elementor editor window, and we're going to click on the Rubik's Cube and grab a shortcode. Drag it in, and all you need to do is just paste in the shortcode, and the form should appear if everything works, and it does. Perfect. And update, and your Contact Us page is done. So our Contact Us page is done, and that leaves one more page for us to make, which is the blog page. The nice thing is this page makes itself as we publish blog posts, so I want to show you how the blog posts work and how they appear on your page. So to get this page with a blog post, we don't want to click Edit Page. We actually want to just hover on New and click Post. Okay, so the first post I recommend bloggers create is a welcome to the blog post. It just shows you care about the readers and you're kind of setting the tone with what they can expect, what you're going to give them, and then what your plans are. And I outlined the next 2 types of posts you should write in our ebook at Dear Blogger, 10 Things to Do Before Your New Blog Goes Live. So that's a free ebook. I definitely recommend checking out if you want to grow the blog. So I'm just going to write, welcome to the blog, Elementor style. So it's kind of double meaning, like Elementor style is how we're going to do it, but it's also a blog about Elementor style. So that's pretty cool. And so the old-fashioned way to make a blog is just to write in your visual text right here, and you can also write text if you have like HTML to write in right here, or paste in from another website, and then you can just write like you would in Microsoft Word right here. So let's walk through all the features in a WordPress blog post in about under a minute. In the upper left, you can set a heading. So if you want to include a larger title, or maybe this would be like the title of each paragraph or each chapter in your blog post, just highlight some text and you can choose a heading. Usually heading 2s are for inside the blog post, but heading 1 is the blog post title in a lot of cases. So I don't like using that. It's a good idea to just go with 2, 4, 6, or 3, 5, 7. Next we have bold and italics, so B is for bold and I is for italics, and then after that we have the bulleted list and the numbered list. To set up a list, all you have to do is put your cursor where you want the first list item to be and click list. Then when you click enter, the rest of it will become more of a list. Alright, and the same goes for the numbered list, of course. If you want to insert a quote, make sure there's some space around the text, highlight the text, and then click on the block quote. You can also left align, right align, or center text, although left align is the standard. And if you click the insert edit link, you can add a link to somewhere like Google. So it's really easy just to copy the link from wherever you are on the web, and then you can put it in WordPress. So copy and paste. If you click on the gear, you can add some settings for the link, like open link in a new tab, or you can search for existing pages or blog posts on your site and just click and create a link to them like that and update it. One of the coolest features is the read more tag, which can make it so your whole post doesn't appear on the home page, and instead you just get a read more button. So wherever you want that button to appear, you can just click on this little hamburger and it'll insert a read more link. Depending on your theme, this should work, and again, it won't show your whole post then. You can open or close the toolbar here. This is a strike through on the upper left lower section, and then there's a horizontal line to break up some text as well. Following that is the text color. Just click on the drop down arrow. You can choose a color, or you can add your own custom colors right here if you want to use them more often. Then we have paste as text. If you highlight some text from Word or maybe PowerPoint, it comes with formatting, and a lot of the times you want to use paste as text after you've copied it, so it just pastes the text. Clear formatting and special character are rarely used, although special character does come with a large set of different ways to spice up your blog post, like the infinity sign. Next, you can decrease the indent or increase the indent, although you probably won't need to unless you're really specific about the formatting. And lastly, we can undo, although I just hit Command Z, or redo, and then we have keyboard shortcuts, which will show you a little more on what you can do with your keyboard, like Command V is paste and Command X is cut. A lot of the stuff you already know, and some of the stuff you might not know. Pretty cool. To add an image into your blog post, we need to use the button we haven't covered here still, which is the Add Media button. Click on that, grab an image, and then there's some important settings. The image title won't show up on WordPress, but the caption will. The alternate text is good for SEO. It's good for describing your image. Description also won't show up, but alignment is important. If you do none, that image will just sit on top of text to the left. Right will nestle the image in text, center will put it on top of text center, and left will nestle it. You can link the image so people can click on it, and you can change the size and insert in a post. Pretty cool. Lastly, if you want to put in a video, just go find a video on YouTube or Vimeo or wherever you like videos. Go to the video page and click share, and then you can choose to either copy this link and paste it into WordPress, which will allow the video to show up, or click embed, which I like doing because it's a little bit better for SEO, and copy the embed code, and then come back to your WordPress blog post. Go to the text tab because we're going to paste in some HTML from YouTube and just paste it in. Alright, and that'll make the video show up. So you want to put that embed code in the text tab. So that's a lot of what you can do with the blog post. Blog posts also need categories like welcome and how to use Elementor. The format we don't want to mess with. Standard is good for now. Although if you find any cool tricks in formatting, definitely let us know. And lastly, we need a featured image. So that's different from the image in the blog post, and I'll show you why. We can choose this image of the puppy and set featured image. There's also an image gallery you could set up later. And we're just going to publish this post, and let's see what we made. We're going to view post now. And we can see the featured image up top, and then the image inside the blog post, and then all of the content we just created. So, nothing fancy, just a basic blog post. You can also add promotional content to your blog post sidebar, and one thing everyone likes to add is the Facebook like box, so I'll show you how to do that. Just go to Facebook page plugin in Google, because they changed the name of it a while ago, and then click the first link for page plugin. Then you just need to create a free Facebook page and put in the link to your page here, like facebook.com/yourpage. You can change the width and choose what shows, like the timeline, the height, the header, and the cover photo, and all that. And then once you're good on what it's going to show, you can just click Get Code. And all you need to do is copy this step 3 code right here. And we're going to put that in Appearance Widgets. So you come back to WordPress and you hover on the dashboard button and you click Widgets. And now if you want to get rid of a section, like maybe we don't have a ton of archives yet, you can just open it and delete it. And to add the Facebook like box, all you have to do is click on the text widget and now add it into the default sidebar. Add widget, it'll open up. Go to the text tab, dismiss, and now we're going to paste in that code that Facebook generated for us. And we can give it a title, add us on Facebook, and save it. Now let's see what we made. We can go to our site and we need to go to the blog because that page has the sidebar. And so if Facebook's not showing up because there's one more step, we need to paste in this code from Facebook that they made for us also in our blog. So to do that, come back to your site, go to the dashboard, and we need to install a plugin that just holds third-party code from Facebook, Google, etc. So go to Plugins, Add New, and we're going to install a plugin called Insert Headers and Footers. So do a search for Insert Headers and Footers, and just install this one by WP Beginner, and activate it. So big thanks to WP Beginner, they're a great blog and a tremendously good plugin developer. And now once you install that, in settings, you can click Insert Headers and Footers. And this is where you insert code from Google Analytics, for example. Maybe AdSense wants you to put in code. And in this case, Facebook wants us to put this code in the header box and save. So that probably took me like several hours to figure out at first, but now you know where that code can go. And now you get a Facebook page plugin. So that's pretty cool. It should show up now. And people can like and comment and all that stuff in line with your blog. Alright, now that our blog page is done, we've completed every single page on our blog. And the next order of business is just to set up our footer, because that's going to go beneath each page and will officially complete each page. To add your footer, you just need to go to any page, like the home page is a great place to start, and click Edit with Elementor. And we're going to create the same footer, then save it as a template and use it on every page. You'll see what I mean. So what I want you to do is come all the way to the bottom and just click Add a New Section. Now select your structure. So I want to put 3 different things in our footer, so I'm going to go with the 3 columns. And now we just need to start drag and dropping. So the first thing we want are some social buttons. You can just look for social, grab the social icons, and just drag them in the middle. Alright, so that was easy. We can of course change their shape, like style. I'm going to set a border radius of 25 so they're circles, and in content we're going to add one item, which of course is YouTube, but you can see you have a lot of items to choose from. Super flexible, and Elementor lets you really show off your social media swagger. Alright, so YouTube, they even have Apple, that's pretty cool. So YouTube, and there we go, we just need our link, which is just www.youtube.com/NaraiGuy. Alright. And then if you want to add one more, we can add item. And then I'm also going to do one more. So WordPress looks pretty and all, but I'm actually just going to do Reddit, because I started posting a little bit on Reddit. I think it's a lot of fun. You can learn so much, and people just go nuts in those comments. Okay, so now you guys can check out my Reddits. And Reddit's actually a great source of free organic blog traffic if you answer the right questions or you post really interesting links. So, alright, we're going to update that section, and now for the right hand column of our footer, we just want a menu. So we're going to click on the Rubik's Cube and we're going to enter menu. We're just going to grab custom menu and drag it in. Now we'll just select the menu, so we just had the main navigation. Then to get our whole menu on one line, we're going to play with the menu padding. So we can bring it down. You just have to write in pixels, px. All right, very good. Now for the left-hand column, I'm just gonna have a copyright, which can just be a text editor. So, text editor, and I'm just gonna write copyright 2018 Greg Narayan. All right, pretty simple. And then we can get the copyright symbol just from Google, copyright symbol. And you can just copy and paste it right there from Wikipedia. And yeah, there we go. Put it right after the word and update. So we don't want our footer to be flush up against the section on top of it, so we can add some padding. You need to click on the settings, whole footer, click advanced, and we're gonna give it some padding of 20 everywhere. And then we want to center the text within the footer, so we can go to layout and content position middle. Very good. Now we'll just update it and our footer is done. Oh, one more thing. I wanted to stretch it so the footer goes across the whole page, and now update it. So how do we use this footer on all of our other pages? Well, we have to save it as a template. If you click this floppy disk icon right here, whatever footer you make can become a global template. So we're going to call this footer version 1 and save it. Awesome, now it's saved. So let's just make sure our page is saved. Great, it is. And now we can just go back. And now we can just go to our home page and open up a new page, and that footer will be waiting for us there. So we can go to About, Edit with Elementor, scroll all the way down, add template, My Templates, click Insert on Footer, and update. And now to get rid of the footer that was beneath this page, which is the default footer from Elementor, we just gotta go back to the hamburger, exit to dashboard, and down in OceanWP settings, click footer and just disable the copyright area and update it. Now when we view page, we will have our own custom footer in place, and we also want to disable this black area, so we can go to edit page, footer, and disable the footer widgets area and update. And view page. Perfect, great job. So I'm going to go ahead and do this to all of our pages, and then we'll have a consistent footer throughout. Alright, so now you are done creating the pages in this tutorial, and I wanted to show you a couple more tricks, like how to add a link on this button so it clicks and goes down the page, and then how to make our nav menu a little bigger. And up here you'll also see we have a cart icon, just because I secretly installed WooCommerce to show you guys in the intro how we'll add products if we want. But that's a tutorial for another day. Actually, probably a day about a month from now, in July, that video should be ready. So that'll be fun. It's just kind of nice how the cart icon just comes in our menu, and all I did was install the WooCommerce plugin. So let's set up that link on your homepage video background, and we're just going to do that by clicking Edit with Elementor. And this will make your buttons work like the Sydney buttons do if you watched our Sydney WordPress tutorial. Those are super fun, everyone loves those, and now we get to learn how to create them. So we just click our button, and we're going to set this up from scratch. And then in link, you just keep the £, the hashtag, and just write in like my dash anchor. You don't even need the dash, you can just write one word. And then update it. And so now when they click that, it'll go to the anchor, but the anchor has to be somewhere. So we're gonna go down the page and we're just gonna put the anchor wherever we want, like on Writing Made Simple. Or even better, we can just put it on our little custom Apple section. So to do that, just click on the settings of the whole section, and then we're gonna click Advanced. And then for CSS ID, just write in without the £, my dash anchor, or whatever you put up top, and then update it. All right, so we just followed those little directions there, and now when we check out the site, it should work. So now when you click on the button with the nice little arrow that tells people where to go, it goes down perfectly to the right section, right to the very top of it, just like Sydney, but now you know how it all works. All right, very cool. So next we're gonna install our, we're gonna increase, our navigation menu size. So we're gonna do that in Customize. And then we're going to click typography. It's kind of hidden in here. And then we're going to click main menu. And right here you can increase the menu size. So it's at 13 and we're going to make it 18. And make sure you write in the PX. Beautiful. And publish. So that'll affect all our pages, but if you just want to increase the menu size on one page, you can do that in the page editor in OceanWP settings. We're also going to bring our logo up a little bit bigger now that the menu's bigger. So we'll go back and we're going to go to header. Man, my Minnesota accent's coming out. We're going to go to logo. And then here, of course, you can just make the max width a touch bigger and it should show up in a second. It's just going slow. Okay, and it looks like there's some kind of maximum height or maximum like amount that our logo can be, which is contained in the header, it looks like. So I'm just gonna use the max height one and make it as big as possible. Perfect, and we'll just set it right here, and I'll have to look into why it's being limited like that and let you guys know. But it looks like we made it a little bigger, so that's cool. And whatever it is, it's just lined up centered with the menu. So that should work fine. Alright, so I'm super sad to say that's the end of our tutorial. The person is still taking photographs, but what changed is that you have now an amazing website that you can change the world with. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about Elementor, WordPress, or any of the features we created, or even any feature you are thinking about creating but aren't sure about, or maybe a question about the whole process of registering a domain name, getting web hosting, setting up WordPress, which host to use, whether or not WordPress is right for you, how to get cute kittens, how to get Instagram working, how to make the social media icon buttons, or anything at all, please drop those down in the comments below. No question is too simple and certainly not stupid, and I would much rather spend a half an hour discussing a question with you than have that question ever go unanswered. Of course, please make sure to smash that like button if you learned anything here, and also hit subscribe. That helps a ton because when people click subscribe or like, then YouTube thinks, oh, maybe that video is actually worth something, or maybe it's good. And then YouTube rewards me because that's how their algorithm works, so I really appreciate it. It helps like more than any of us really even know, I think. I'm gonna go hop on a flight in about 4 hours, so I gotta go pack, but it was a true pleasure spending this couple hours working with you because I really enjoyed making this for you. Alright guys, that does it. Please again make sure to ask questions in the comments, smash the like button, and hit subscribe. And I'm sure I'll talk to you soon. I'm Greg Narayan. Thanks so much for watching. Come on, let's check it out. Alright, let's go.